Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Margarita and today I'm here to bring you a book unhaul. So this year I'm trying to read more of my physical TBR, and in doing so I'm finding some books that I either did not enjoy or I just have no interest in reading. So every 3 to 4 months, depending on the pile of books that I have, I'm going to do an unhaul video about all of the books that I have accumulated that I no longer want, so that it'll be a little bit more manageable than just getting rid of like 100 books in one go. So let's just talk about some books. Some of these books I DNF'd, some of them I read all the way through, so I will let you know why I'm unhauling them and how far I got into them and all that kind of stuff once we start talking about it. So the first book that I have to talk about is That Part Was True by Deborah McKinley. And this book, you can't even see it, is about these two people who are pen pals. One is an author and one is just this woman in England. And they start writing and talking about food and stuff, and they both have like really like messed up lives, like their lives aren't where they want to be, and it's about those two, and it just was such a pointless story. I did finish this book because my mom gave it to me as a gift, so I wanted to read it for that simple reason, and I wanted to finish it for that reason, but I knew like 30 pages in that I did not care. There was just no point of this book in my opinion, so I'm going to get rid of it, give it to someone, to another home, someone who will absolutely love it, because that person is not me. The next book, I got like maybe 15 pages in before I was like, I can't deal with this. And that is India Black in the Shadows of Anarchy by Carolyn K. Carr. This book is just ridiculous in the utmost. Like, the writing is ridiculous. The plot is ridiculous. Everything about it, it's a level of ridiculous that I don't even want in my life, because sometimes you want something that's a little ridiculous and hard to believe, but this is just stupid. And it's basically about this madam of a brothel who helps solve crimes and like for Scotland Yard or something. It's stupid. I hated her immediately. I hated the people in the story immediately. Any character that was introduced I immediately hated. So I figured, you know, why do that to myself? I'm only 15 pages in. So not going to continue on with that, just going to get rid of it. The next book that I have to talk about is Bellman in Black by Diane Setterfield. I've had this book on my shelves for a really, really long time, and I did give it a shot. I read 24 pages. Like, I didn't give it a great shot, but I just didn't really care. And there's so many books on my shelves that I actually do care about. This is basically about a boy, William, who kills a bird one day and like it comes back to haunt him later on in life. Like, I didn't even get to that part. It just wasn't interesting to me, so I'm gonna let this one go and let someone else really enjoy it, because I don't. The next book is such a disappointment for me because I was really hoping to love it, and that is Artemis Awakening by Jane Lindskold, and I got 113 pages into this book. I did give it a shot, but it is so boring. This is a sci-fi book about this pleasure planet called Artemis that, you know, centuries ago was this pleasure planet for these people that had this amazing technology, and one day I believe war or something occurs and it's lost to, you know, history and to civilization. So people think that it's a myth. It's not a real planet. And this one guy decides, I think it is a real planet. I'm going to go looking for it, but I'm not going to tell anyone because I want it to be my discovery. So he goes, he actually finds the planet and he crash lands there, and he can't leave because his spaceship is all effed up. And he meets this woman who is bonded to this like mountain lion, and it sounds really, really cool, and they have to like figure out what's going on, what happened to Artemis, like why are these people living in the Dark Ages? But it just was so boring. I didn't care. And I kept thinking, oh, it's going to get better here. Oh, it's going to get better here. And it never did. And I just don't want to read a story where I keep thinking it's going to get better and it never does. I have other books that are just like good to begin with. The next book is another book that I started. I gave this one 13 pages also, and I just didn't care. And that is Reign of Shadows by Sophie Jordan. This is supposed to be some sort of fairy tale retelling, and it's about this 17-year-old princess who is locked in this house or whatever because the kingdom is in complete darkness and there are these creatures outside that will kill you and eat you, and she is, you know, in charge of this kingdom, so she has to be protected at all costs. That way once this darkness leaves, she can, you know, rule her country or whatever. And I just don't care. It just was not interesting. There was nothing about it in the first couple pages that grabbed my interest, and I have other fairy tale retellings that I want to read, so I'm just gonna let this one go. I'm sure there's someone out there who will love it. I'm just not in the mood for it. I'm not going to pick it back up. I can already tell. So just moving it along. The next book is The Borgia Bride by Jean Kalgogridis. Sorry, I know that's not how you pronounce your last name. And this is supposed to be a story about, you know, the Borgias, and I didn't even pick it up. I'm just not that interested in it anymore, so I'm going to let it go. There will be someone out there who will love it. It's just not my interest anymore. Almost done. I'm going to talk about the next two books that I have finished. The first one is After Alice by Gregory Maguire. This book, I listened to it as an audiobook, which is the only reason I finished it. It was so boring. Basically, this is the story of Alice's friend, what's her name? Ada, who is in like this brace, I guess, for her back or something, and Alice is her only friend. So she goes looking for Alice one day, can't find her, falls down the same rabbit hole that Alice falls down the same day, and goes on this crazy adventure. And then there's this other boy who goes through a looking glass and goes through it. Anyway. But it's so boring and it's so pointless, and I don't understand what the point of this book was. And again, the only reason I finished it is because I was listening to it as an audiobook, and I just sped the audiobook as much as possible and would listen to it at night as I fell asleep. There's no reason for me to keep this. I did not enjoy it, so it's leaving. The next book is Forgotten Country by Catherine Chung, and I did enjoy this book when I read it. I found the ending to be rather unsatisfying, but I enjoyed especially the beginning of this and the family dynamic in this book, but I'm not going to reread it, and there's no point in me keeping a book that I know I'm not going to reread. So I'm going to let this one go. Hopefully someone else will read it and also really enjoy it and connect to the story. I did, and I did enjoy it. I'm just not going to reread it, so I'm not going to keep it. And the last book that I have to talk about is Arabella of Mars by David D. Levine. This is another book that I'm really sad about that I didn't get along with. I read about 30 pages of this book, and maybe I should give it more of a try, but I just didn't really care. So basically it is about Arabella, who lives on Mars with her family, and her mother believes that she's becoming a ruffian, that she, you know, Mars is not a place for civilized young ladies to grow up and whatever. So her mom and her sister and her go back to Earth, I think it's to London, or to England, somewhere in England. And her brother and her father stay on Mars, and she gets a letter saying that her dad is dead. Like within 30 pages, all of that happens. And so she decides that she wants to, I think it's the French that kill her dad or something. There's like a trading war. So she decides she wants to avenge her father and wants to fight in this war, but she's a girl, so she's not supposed to. So I think she disguises herself as a boy or something. I didn't get that far, but I just wasn't invested in it enough to even want to get that far. So I'm pretty bummed about this one. I was really hoping to like it, but it didn't jive with me, and I have to be okay with that. And I'm getting better at letting go of books that I don't enjoy, because I have so many books and I have so little bookshelf space. So those are all of the books that I'm unhauling now. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these books, your thoughts and opinions on them. Do you think that I am giving up too early on a book that is absolutely wonderful? Let me know. Are any of these books your favorite? Tell me why they are, because I would love to know why. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!